me in Duke. 12 times the conference champion, 13 during the Terry. He's 31 years in the March Madness. He's 86 and 26 with his 12 Final Four appearances. He got 4 championships. 18 All-Americans total, consensus. Name a few: Grant Hill, Christian Laettner, Bobby Hurley, J.J. Redick, Elton Brand, Shane Battier, Jabari Parker, and Kevin's favorite, Mason Plumlee. I threw that in there for you, buddy. I threw that in there for you. I know that was going. That's why I kind of put that name at the end. To kind of. I know you don't like that guy, but
you suck, Mason Plumlee.
Some is old my guy to me because he, like Kevin said earlier, he just seems to work with little and still get good results. Hence to them being to the Final Four, like everybody always talk about them starting off and it's a little shaky, but when it comes to tournament time, the guy can coach. So Tom Izzo to me, if I want to start somebody, I know that he can up-coach some of this talent that to get them to where they need to be. And so Tom Izzo, Coach K, I mean, he coached the Olympics team. So he know what he's doing. He could have coached the NBA, but choose not to. But that's where you gotta respect the guy because he want to stay at one place, cement his legacy, which he already has in the 1990s before that.
He's cemented. Yeah, he's cemented.
So I mean, Coach K is probably going to coach until he leaves whenever he wants to.
He's gonna coach like Joe Paterno. Mm-hmm. They'll have to kick him out, and then once they kick him out of coaching, he'll die.
Yeah, unfortunately, because
one of those things
where you got to keep working.
That's one of those
living,
yeah,
right?
That's one of those things.
So, but it's a good crop of coaches here, and rightfully deserved that they got their team clicking here and got them going at the right time. So that's why I say this Final Four is potentially set up to be a pretty darn good one, and I'm excited to watch it. So, I want to ask you your next question: which play did you enjoy most out of these 4 teams? Watching, like, is there any particular player? I mean, I know you got the stars. You got a couple players that you got.
I like Decker just because he don't care. He don't care. He shot one off a back foot and was like, whatever. Boom. He don't care. And I like those type of players. I like those shoot first mentality players. That those guys that just have no conscience whatsoever. Fire away.
What do you think about him increasing? Because he's got to be increasing his draft stock. So, to me, I think he can be a solid rotation.
Shooters get picked up. Mm-hmm. If you can shoot, you get picked up.
Yes.
So he definitely has that going for him.
Yes. And
it's increasing day by day as he gets better shoot. If he continues to shoot like he's been shooting, yeah, his stock will increase a lot. That's just ridiculous. He don't care.
No.
Don't care. That last shot he took, he was like, yeah, what? Bam. Okay.
And see, I'm gonna go with Justice Winslow. With that guy, as you say, he don't care. He don't care. He lives for the moment.
There's people don't care in this tournament. Right
he had some big shots, man, and it seems to me he's averaging 12 points and 6 rebounds this year. But the guys, when they need a shot, it seems like they go to him, and he makes some of the toughest shots. Same with Decker.
Yeah.
Both of these guys, I'm thoroughly impressed with them because they're playing shirt, and it's something fun to watch. So, I mean, just imagine the possibilities that if you get Duke and Wisconsin in the Final Four, that you got Winslow and you got Decker going at it with these clutch moments that he had. Can you imagine seeing that if these two make it to the last two, that you got these two guys that live for the moment and have that clutch mentality?
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fun to watch.
The guy I like the most, though, out of everybody is Okafor. Mm-hmm. He does things so... It's effortless.
Yes.
When he does things on the floor. People on ESPN were talking about how the one dude's better, or the guy from Kentucky is better than...
Carmen Towns?
Yeah, he's better than Okafor. What freaking country are you watching this? Well, he's better defensively. He's better defensively. Kentucky's better defensively. Kentucky has everybody that plays defense, and Kentucky has 17 people that are 7 foot or more. Of course he's going to play defense better because he don't have that mentality in the back of his head that he's got to stay on the court.
I heard a good point that mentioned because Carmen Towns has that luxury of having depth behind him that Okafor doesn't. So he's got to save himself from fouls and everything like
exactly.
that. So he's more important on the other side of the ball than he is on defense.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I say everybody look at him and nitpick his defense and everything like that. But maybe it's just because
Okafor's offense is ridiculous.
Yes,
if you watch how he does things, he's fluid.
Right.
And it looks effortless when he wants to score the basketball.
And
he can do it against whoever, too.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But I gotta give love to Karl Anthony Towns too, because they actually single guard him, and the Notre Dame shut down the Hurricane Twins, shut them down. So they kept feeding this guy 1-on-1. Yeah, until the end. They kept feeding this man 1-on-1, and he was just abusing.
What's easy to do?
August.
It's easy to do when you don't got a guy that's as big as me.
Well, August is about his.
August is about 4 inches shorter than him, but he's kind of muscular. But it still don't matter.
Yeah.
If you're able to use a post move, and you're able to use a hook shot against that dude smaller than you, you got the advantage.
That's the thing.
It's when he comes up against somebody that's going to be his same size.
Right.
Let's see what he does against freaking dude from Wisconsin. See what he does against Kaminsky.
Right. But what I do, I give him credit because he took advantage of that.
Oh, yeah, you definitely take advantage of that.
You take advantage of that. And he showed me some work because I always wondering, I wonder where his offense is at. He's got a couple of moves, but I'm not saying he's not near Okafor's level on the moves, but he's still pretty impressed what he did against a solid Notre Dame team when his guard was breaking up everything except for the last moment.
Man, the last stop there, they started shooting.
So,
I think Kaminsky, though, will give him a lot of problems on both ends.
But Winslow and Decker, as me and Kevin said, both are just fun to watch for me. So, all right. Now it comes here because we got these games coming on this evening. Who you got winning these matchups, and who you got going to be the last two?
I think I don't know. I think it all depends on Wisconsin shooting. If they get going, I think Wisconsin can beat Kentucky. Heck, I thought Notre Dame could beat Kentucky. I thought many people could beat Kentucky, but many people I had beaten Kentucky aren't no longer they're there. Arizona. But I think Wisconsin will give them a run for their money. In the end, I think Kentucky ends up winning, but I wouldn't be shocked if Wisconsin wins. I know everybody wants to see Duke, Kentucky. And that's what I end up. I think that's going to be what it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if Wisconsin wins. Yeah. I think Duke's winning the other game.
Yeah, I got Kentucky winning it, and I picked them in my Swiss cheese of a bracket.
In our destroyed bracket
yeah,
that you could just set on fire.
Yeah, in my Swiss cheese of a bracket, I reluctantly gave up my $5 on Friday to my pool that is going to probably be going to one of my buddies who I hung out with last night. I was like, here, I should just pay you the $5 because your bracket is looking pretty better than mine, and you're actually leading the bracket right now. But yeah, Kentucky to me is just too strong. That length bothers them. Now, the one thing is, if you can get in that airspace of Wisconsin, you can disrupt the flow. Now, the thing that helps Kaminsky and Decker out, they can put the ball on the floor and put pressure on your defense when they penetrate and kick, and hopefully,
and they can shoot.
Right. So. But that's why
there ain't gonna be no clogging. There'll be no clogging the lane for Kentucky this game. No,
they're gonna spread them out. But I think eventually Kentucky will go ahead and actually end this game. And I think Duke is gonna overpower Michigan State. Michigan State was a nice story. They made to the Final Four. They're the only other seed, like Kevin said earlier in the podcast.
7.
That is 7. All these other seeds are 1.
Yep. And
so it's a testament to how a good job that Tom Izzo is doing. But I just think too much. You got too much Taj Jones. You got Okafor.
Yeah,
and you got Winslow.
Way too much.
Right. So it's going to be a good matchup too. Who me and Kevin agree on, and then I just think Kentucky ends up winning the whole thing. So
I think Duke will end up winning.
Duke will end up winning.
I think this is where Okafor goes. I think this guy's better than me, huh? Well, my turn to show you. And then he just goes nuts.
Yeah.
But what is up with everybody now trying to mimic Elfrid Payton's hairstyle? Duke has people with the same type of hair.
It's like faded at the bottom.
No. There's this complete. It looks just like Elfrid, where it's just full all the way up. They haven't got it as long on top yet.
Yeah. It's just nappy, yeah.
I'm like, why? I'm like, everybody with Elfrid, everybody's going to be that guy with that hairdo.
Nice. All right. Now, on the podcast, you and John, did y'all talk about the Spurs a little bit?
No.
No? Okay.
No, we We talked about Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Okay. I know I heard y'all talk about Kevin Durant, and I thought y'all talk about the Spurs, but let's talk about.
I think we just talked.
I know. Briefly, I heard something about the Spurs in there, so y'all might have just been a segue comparing them to, like, the West. Y'all just probably looking at the West.
I think we put.
So y'all did talk about the Spurs, but let's talk about the Spurs.
I forgot. That was last week.
That was last week. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
They're 12-3 in March. Last year, they was undefeated in March.
Yeah, it's retarded.
They got the biggest plus and minus in March of 13.1 as far as points per game. Holding the opposition to 44% shooting. They led the league in offensive rating of 113.3. Kawhi Leonard is had a wonderful month with 19 points, 7 rebounds. And he actually came back being an injury. And him and Tony Parker both. 18 points Tony Parker shooting 55% from the field. Kevin, why do people instance of writing Spurs off?
Because they like to. Because they're old. That's what they do every year. You don't write them off. People go, oh, your pick look. No, my pick's looking just how they always look. They always look like it. They always do the same thing every year. They always rest their guys. They always get healthy at the right time, and they always go into the playoffs full bore. That's exactly what they're doing again this year. It's the same as it always been with the Spurs. When people don't doubt the Spurs, that's when I'll start worrying.
All right. Where do you think they end up at the season? Because right now they're number 6, and the playoff start today, they will match up against Memphis.
They'll probably get a 5-6, depending on what other teams do in front of them.
But I'll tell you this though, that
West, matchup would be fun.
It will be fun. That West between seeds 3 to
that's
6.
Your pick.
Yeah, they're like a game apart from this, so they can really move up to 3 and do some headway and get up to the 3rd spot they want to.
Yeah.
So
I hope they.
I think they end up in the middle of the pack, and as long as they have home advantage for the first one, I really don't think they need home court advantage because they're solid, and I like watching them around this time because it's like they're turning up into another gear. Unfortunately, I got to watch them blow out my team, which was not fun to watch.
They blow out everybody.
In March they blow out everybody. So, but you can't. You just admire to what this team is.
My team can keep 2 guys healthy at the same time. I'll be amazed.
So, now a question, because you said that they'll probably end up, probably within the fifth rank, whatever. Where do you think they would feel comfortable seeding wise to make a postseason run? Or do you think that doesn't matter?
They feel comfortable 1 through 8. It don't matter to them guys. They get in, they're scared. That's just the way it is with them.
Right.
Yeah, 1 through 8. Wherever you want to put them in there, it's fine with them.
Yeah, they have somewhat. They actually have something that can match up the Warriors as far as they shoot a lot of threes too. They got an inside post threat in Tim Duncan, who is still drinking water from the St. Augustine final.
And they still play defense.
And yes, right. They still play defense. And Kawhi Leonard, who is coming into his own, which that boy needs to get paid in the offseason by the Spurs. He deserves some money, man.
He will. He's came on. It's ridiculous the way he's came on.
He is fun to watch, and his personality where he doesn't say a word to anybody. He doesn't say anything, and he just so stone cold faced, just looking like he has no type of emotion. But you give the man credit because he come in, he's a pro, and do what he does on the defensive side of the ball. So it's always fun to watch. But I think, to me, for them, They definitely got to get in the middle of the pack, in my opinion. But they just still one of those teams that can still win on the road if it needs to be. But there's nothing like having game 7 at home. But
I don't think it matters to them.
Don't matter to them.
Yeah, it don't matter to them at all.
So
they don't care. They've been around the block so many times. They've had to play road games, home games, games in China, games in where else? Mexico. They don't care.
All right, give me a percentage.
I think they play in Mexico all the time, don't they? Basically what San Antonio is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Have you been to San Antonio before?
Yes.
Yes.
I was in the military. That's where our basic training was. I got to go out into the Riverwalk, into the Alamo, and all that junk.
I just wanted to talk a little about San
Antonio. It's a fine place when you speak.
Why do Chuck mess with the women?
because they're mostly Mexican and they're mostly